Hi, my name is Patricia Gundlach, and I am the author of So You Want to Do Hair in Hollywood. Today's segment, I am going to be talking to a Hollywood icon, Abby Singer. Abby Singer was an assistant director and a unit production manager. He'll be telling us a little Hollywood history, how to conduct yourself on set, how men and women dress for work, and how he got his reputation of being an organized production manager. If you had a chance to work with him, you were blessed by his well-mannered, most efficient production skills. Let's check it out. Abby, when people would come in for an interview, how were they dressed?
They should look very nice. They can even be in jeans, I don't care. They should be clean and neat.
Would you like it when somebody would bring in a resume?
I would like them to bring in a resume. Yeah, it's not vital, but it's quite important.
What would you look for in a resume?
What they've done, who they've worked with, have they done features or television, and I would like to get the references that they put on the resume, because I do check references. I check references on everybody I ever hired, and it usually worked out very well.
When you would interview somebody, would you pretty much know right away whether if you liked him or not?
Yes.
Would you hire him on the spot, or would you call him later?
Two ways. Sometimes on the spot, and many times I would call after checking their references. I always want to check references, because sometimes you get some very weird statements from people.
What kind of questions would you ask the references?
I'd say, what do you think of her work or his work? It's good or bad? How do they get along with people? And do you think I should hire this person? And they would tell me what.
Now, would you find that you would match certain personalities to certain projects?
I never thought of it. I think I would. On a comedy, I would like somebody who has a good sense of humor.
Did you like it when people asked questions, or would you be the one that would like to
I would like
hold
them
the
to ask
interview?
questions.
Yeah.
And I would ask many questions. You know, how long they've been in the industry, where they've worked, what have they done. And I'd like to know a little about their private life, but I know that's personal and people don't like to talk too much.
With all the new media now, would you look people up on the internet? Is that something you think you would have done?
I don't use the internet. My wife does. I don't use it.
Depending on if the job for hair and makeup had a lot of prosthetics or period, would you like to see a book?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've worked with people who've done prosthetics, and some of them are just magnificent.
Oh, yeah.
And I just don't want anybody to tell me they've done it. I want to see a book, pictures of what they've done. It's very important.
When you were interviewing somebody, what was it that you would be looking for in their personality?
God, it's hard to tell.
Confidence?
I'd like them to be confident, yes.
But not cocky.
That's correct. I'd like them to be pleasant. If they're cocky, they're out.
Yeah.
I just like them to come across as a decent human being.
What a nice guy. With all the hours that we work in a day, I'm sure you would look for somebody that would be production friendly.
Yes.
If there would be something that would come up.
Definitely. Because we do work long. We used to work very long hours. I'm sure they do now too.
We do.
We used to work 14, 16 hours a day, and we never had an 8-hour call in between to rest. We would have to go out the next morning very early. I did many, many westerns where we'd finish at 7, 8 o'clock at night. By the time we did our paperwork, it'd be 10 o'clock, and we'd be leaving at 5 the next morning.
Yeah.
And
that's hard.
it was very tough.
That's really hard.
But it was wonderful. If I had to do it again, I would do the same thing.
You've got like maybe 3 or 4 people that you're going to be looking at. What would be the protocol of somebody calling back to see if they've received the job or not?
I'll tell them we have already hired somebody. And thanks for coming in. Maybe next time I can get you, or we have something else, I'll call you. But it's not easy.
Did you find that the actors would have something to say with who they wanted to hire?
Well, they do. Many actors have their makeup man or their hairdresser, actors or actresses, and I tell them I will certainly look into them and check them out, and if they're acceptable within the industry, I'll use them. because we have found out from within the industry that some of the makeup men or hairdressers will say, I only work for Joe, and I touch nobody, I don't help anybody else. And that could be a real problem. And also they become very cocky, and they're telling you what they want to get paid. It can be a real mess, and I bitterly resent that.
How would you handle situations like that? Would you hire them? Would you try to work around it?
Well, there were times I had to hire them. At the end of the season, they were finished.
Yeah.
They wanted to come back the next season. I said, no, no way. Even if I had a big fight with a big discussion with an actor or actress, the studio would normally back me up all the way when we ran up against some horrible people. But really 99% of the people are wonderful within the industry. They're all wonderful people. They work hard and they try to do a good job.
You've got a department head hairstylist and a department head makeup artist. Something happens within the department where you have to get rid of someone. Do you handle that, or do you let your department heads handle it?
The producers usually want to get rid of somebody. They'll come to me and say, so-and-so is no good. I want to get her out of here or get him out of here. Do it. They won't do it. So I bring somebody in and I say, we have a problem. We're going to have a change of people within our company. There's going to be a change, and you're the change. And I said, I'm sorry to tell you that. I'll help you get another job, and I've done that.
How often does that happen?
But there's nothing else I can do. Well, they told me they want to go up and speak to the producer. I said, no way. The producer doesn't want to speak to anybody. They made that very clear at all times. And I'm sorry. I'll give you a recommendation wherever you want to go, but you're finished as of now.
Do you ever have anyone try to offer any sexual favors to try to keep their job?
No, not really. I was pretty straight.
Yeah.
I had problems a couple of times, but nothing really.
It's just something that's very unprofessional.
Oh, yeah. I've had that a couple of times.
Yeah, very
I had
unprofessional.
a hairdresser come in one time, and she came into my office, and I had my secretary, I called her to come in too because I knew something was going to happen. And she came in and said, what do I have to do to get a job? You tell me. And I said, goodbye. I got rid of her real fast.
In wrapping this up, having the name Abby Singer, how did that end up on set for so many years?
It's been on since 57 or 58, 1957 or 1958. I was an assistant director, and I would just say, fellas, we would sometimes move 3 or 4 times a day in television, from stage to stage, and to save the director time, sometimes as much as an hour a day, I would tell the crew, fellas, we got this and one more, and we're moving. And it would start loading up the equipment right then and there, and call for the transportation for the Goonies to move the equipment in. And the minute we got the 2 shots, off we'd go. And you could save 10, 15 minutes every time on every move. And it became a standard for the industry. Mostly, they only use it at night now, but I used to use it during the day too.
Wow. So you were the save the time guy.
Oh yeah. It's used all over the world. I get a kick out of it. But that and $3 will get me a cup of coffee.
Anything you'd want to share for filmmakers that are coming into the business now?
Treat people the way you want to be treated. That's, to me, the most important thing in the world. Never, never be late, because that's part of the industry. Oh yeah, be very honest. In your dealings with people, if you make a mistake, don't blame it on another person. Take the heat. You will be respected more and liked more for what you do. I have found that out through the years. When an assistant director made a mistake, I took the blame because I was the boss. And I was never laid off. In 50 years in the industry and 14 years at AFI, I've never been laid off.
14 years at AFI.
Yeah.
Wow.
13 years.
What do you teach?
I go through the script from A to Z. I make all my notes on every script, and I go through all the notes with these students. They got too many actors. They don't have enough actors. They got too many scenes in the picture. They got too many locations. They need equipment. They put a lot of music in there, and they have to get releases and from the legal department. Anything that comes up, I go through it with them and tell them what they should do. 6 or 7 people come here. The producer, the director, the writer, the cameraman, the art director, the film editor, and that's it. 6 people come here. And we go through the script line by line, and each one tells me what their problems are. I'll tell the wardrobe people, I'll tell the art director where to go for equipment and what to get. I will tell the cameraman I can help him get equipment, and I find out what he wants to use. And if he goes crazy with equipment, I cut him down. I tell him you don't need that. And it's very interesting. I get students from all over the world: Germany, England, France, Italy. I said Israel, the Philippines, Japan, China.
Wow.
I even had one student last year from Afghanistan. I had one from Jordan also.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all your information. You're quite a very gracious man.
That was Abby Singer. His name puts smiles on crews' faces all over the world after an 18-hour day. Well, that was the Abby, this is the Martini, and it's a wrap. Remember to click like and check out my website, HAIRINHOLLYWOOD.com. Always be true to yourself.